I gotta put my phone on.
Well, this is the first episode of season 2, right?
Yes, it is.
Season 2, holla!
All right.
All right, everybody.
Did I say it like that?
Let's fucking get strapped in for this wild roller coaster ride.
Welcome to the podcast, season 2, Double Distraction. We freaking made it. It's 2020.
It's 2020.
How does it feel?
While you're watching,
are you sitting in it? How does it feel? You're in 2020 right now. Does it feel? Does it taste like it's gonna be good?
I don't know. I'm very I don't know. It feels a little different.
I feel the same, and people who say they feel different can stop lying to me right now.
Okay, great. Then I don't feel different. I don't know. I feel like it's gonna be the same old shit, and like it kind of feels like I'm turning a new leaf only because it's the start of a new decade. But I've said that every single year up until now.
Me too.
You know, so
everybody does. They're like, this year's gonna be different. I swear.
This year, bro, this year
is my year.
It's gonna be fucking rad.
It's my year.
It's my year.
I'm like, technically it's
all of our years because we all live on the fucking planet, so you better stop being selfish.
Wow.
There's plenty of year to go around, okay?
We have exactly enough year for everyone.
For every human on the planet.
That's hilarious. Anyway.
But hi, guys.
Hello.
Season 2, first episode, and we are starting the new decade.
Who are you still in 2020? You're still who?
Shannon.
And I'm still Ceara. Isn't that crazy?
I didn't change my name. Wow.
Oh my. Okay, Adrian. No, we never released that. Dang it.
But yeah, 2020, season 2.
We're still the same, but
first episode, we're still the same, but we're
picking up steam, man.
Yep. And we're gonna talk about this episode comes out on
the 1st
we're
of
filming
January,
it now,
I believe.
but it comes out on New Year's. So we're gonna talk about our resolutions.
I'm so excited.
Although I don't like the word resolution. Like,
why?
I wish it was another word.
No shit.
Goals?
Shit, I'm gonna try.
Yeah, I don't know. But we're gonna talk about our resolutions.
Yes. We made
lists.
Of course, you know I love a list.
Just as we always do. We made a good old list.
I am so excited because this one was a little less. It wasn't as fun for me to make as the Thanksgiving list, just because, you know, I always have on deck people I want to thank.
Right.
This one, I had to actually think about what I want to change about myself, and I was like,
yeah,
here we go.
I didn't really have to think that hard.
Really?
I feel like I've been thinking about it for a hot minute, so it wasn't hard for me to be like, oh, yeah, these are the things I want to focus on.
Yeah.
But before we get into our lists, and Ceara wants to talk about a dream that she had.
This dream.
So, well, hold on. We need to get our self-promo in there.
Oh,
so
how could I forget?
I'm always the one who brings it up because I just remember at the weirdest times.
My sister says you got to say it in the fun way, the way that I say it.
But I do say it in the fun way.
No, sometimes you just go no distraction.
Okay, well.
Do it.
Remember to give us a follow on Instagram, double.distraction.pod.
Nailed it.
Hit the subscribe button on YouTube so that you don't miss any of our episodes. And let's get into it. So,
strap in.
Ceara, you wanted to talk about a dream
Of
first?
course. Okay. This dream was very important for 2020 because I'm very mad that it happened to me.
Okay.
Because I'm always the person to be like, I don't have anxiety. I'm super confident. Nothing ever affects me, which is true until last night.
Until you have a dream.
It finally happened to me. I had the teeth falling out dream.
Ew.
Has that ever happened to you?
No, absolutely
not.
You
have anxiety. It's never happened to you?
No.
Okay. So the teeth falling
out? No.
The teeth falling out dream?
I used to have a dream where like I would have holes in my face and then like the dream would just be me like continuously like
falling into the hole?
As if it was a camera view. Like going into
your own face
of my face, and then it was, like it was like a loop.
Yeah,
that used to be a nightmare I used to have when I was little.
No,
I haven't had that dream in a really long time.
But the teeth fall. Eat your bagel.
No.
I'm gonna tell him about my dream. You eat your bagel.
No.
She got bagels from Panera. First of all, I hate Panera, but also she's like, "Let me just eat this bagel before the podcast," and then she whips out another bagel. I was like, I thought that was the end of the bagels.
Always 2 bagels. I can never. only get one.
Oh my God.
I don't know what it is. But
Eat your bagel. I'm going to tell my story.
Tell
So
the story.
the teeth falling out dream is an anxiety dream that like psychologists
They're
say.
like, if you have this dream,
Yeah,
you
it
have
means
anxiety.
no. It means that a new change is about to happen in your life because it normally means like something different is about to happen to you, and I'm pissed because
But that's good though.
I'm about to get fired from my well, we're in 2020, so I've
Not
officially
fired.
been fired. Not literally, but contractually I've been released from my job. And here's what happened in the dream. I was in the whole dream, like I just kept holding my mouth and like I could feel my teeth wiggling like you do like when you're a kid, but it was like the back teeth. And I was like, I have like 2 that are loose. I was like, oh, I don't like that, but I'll just like, maybe I could pull them out. And then I was talking to somebody in the dream. I don't remember. Also, I don't dream, which is why another reason why I was pissed off. I hate dreaming unless it's a nightmare so that I can wake up early because it gives me just enough energy to wake up and start my day at 4 a.m. But so in the dream, I was talking to someone and like my mouth felt full and I was like, let me go take a look at what's happening in my mouth. I go into the bathroom to look at myself in the mirror. I open my mouth. I was like, let me just spit out these 2 teeth into a napkin. I spit the teeth out before I grab a napkin and I spit them out and it was literally like 16 teeth in my hand. And I was so shocked and I was like, and then I was trying to pull the napkins and then my teeth almost fell out of my hand. And I was so mad that I woke up and I sat up. I was like, are you kidding me?
Oh my God.
So much to the point, like I brushed my teeth super well this morning and like I flossed and I was like, I can't.
My teeth are not coming out.
No, because that's one of my favorite parts of myself is my teeth. And I was like, oh no, it happened to me. But yeah, the new year's about to start. I'm about to be thrown into joblessness, but it's also good. I'm going to talk about it later, but I couldn't believe that it actually happened to me. Oh, I love so
that for
mad.
you, and I never want to have that dream.
Well, I mean, and the problem is, like, normally if I think about something, it'll come up. It didn't happen. I never thought about it, so that means it was a genuine falling out of teeth dream. What sentence is a genuine teeth falling out dream?
It happened on its own. There was
I'm so upset about it.
Anyway, it's okay.
No.
It's just showing you that change will. Also, can we just talk about for a second? Interpreting dreams, I think, is 100% bullshit.
Why?
How the fuck could you possibly know what a dream means? Like, dreams mean fucking nothing. Like, it's just your subconscious, like, thinking of random. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but
like,
some people have like similar themes.
Yeah, great, but I don't know. I just don't know how much weight I put into like those interpretations.
Right, but
because
the
I'm
stars
like,
aligning, making you a Virgo really are true.
Okay, but astrology too. I'm not like 100% sold on it. It's something interesting to me, but I'm not. I mean, you know,
let people
already,
have
but
their dream shit, and by people I
take,
mean me. Let me have it.
Okay, you can. I'm just saying that I just don't know how much meaning like dreams actually have.
Not a lot, but in my culture, we say like when you have a dream, the opposite will happen. And also,
so your teeth aren't gonna fall out.
Don't put that voodoo on me. I'm knocking on wood. That would be one of the worst things to ever happen to me because I love my teeth. That would make me so mad. I would just give veneers. Fine, whatever. It's over. I've decided.
Okay. I'll support you in your veneers.
I would be talking with a list for a little bit.
Sorry, you got to get the really expensive kind.
Do I look like I have? I'm about to be jobless. I don't have money for the expensive kind.
Okay,
I can't. I'm gonna make up myself
minute.
out of tinfoil. That's what the budget will support.
Absolutely not. Over here with like what are those things? Grills. I hate that shit.
I like grills.
If you made it out of tinfoil, you would look like just somebody with grills. 24/7. Ew. I personally hate grills. They're so gross. I just don't.
Anyway, are you ready to get into your list?
It looks bad, but to each his own.
Are you ready to get into your list? Oh, before we begin, actually, normally I actually always make a resolution list every year. And
Me too.
Before, like when I'm done making the list, I come up. I don't do this on purpose, but like I'll have a saying that comes from what I've read. And I'm like, here's a saying that I'm going to try and follow for this year. So last year, my saying was, I don't want to means I'm gonna, which is, doesn't make any sense to anybody else. But what I was saying is like, if my initial reaction to something is like, I don't want to do it, that means I need to do it immediately. And I was doing that for like a little bit, and then it kind of trailed off in the middle of the year. And then I like try to bring it back at the end of the year. So I'm just going to give the quote now before we get into the stuff. My quote that I think it came to me like probably like 5 days ago, and I was like, this is probably going to be a good message for me to follow for 2020 is become an expert at your own shit. And I think really it came to me through like my music and things like that, just because it's like I don't compare myself in most things, but music is something I'm like, I like it, but I'm like, if I see other people doing well, I'm like, that means I'm garbage, when I shouldn't approach it that way, but whatever.
Yeah, it doesn't mean you're garbage.
I mean, but you win and you lose, so.
You win and you lose. A quote that I kind of been going by, I don't know, I don't think I've actively been going by it, like, you know, like telling it to myself every day or anything like that, but a quote that I really like that I found this year, and I mean, I would bring it on into this coming year as well, 2020, is stand on the shoulders of giants. And basically, I'm blanking on who said the quote, so I apologize. But I just know that that's the quote.
What does it mean?
And it basically means that, I mean, no matter what anybody does or what you do, you're always building off of someone who came before you, or like knowledge that from someone who came before you, things like that.
Okay.
So like, for me, it's just like a reminder that like everything you're doing or could potentially do, like, you can build off of what others have done before and like make it better, or like grow on top of that, or whatever, which also relates to education, just getting educated and learning things that people have found out. But I'm saying that I want to bring it into this coming year because it's just like a reminder to kind of be open to other people's like opinions and ideas, and continue to educate myself and things like that, just so that I can keep like standing on the shoulders of giants. I don't know. So that's a quote that I really like, because it, like I said, it's just a reminder to like remember where you came from. Like, you aren't fucking special. I mean, everybody, okay, I don't mean it in a rude way, I just mean that everyone wants to think that they're special and like there's something unique and whatever, which may be true, you know, like you could be unique in your own ways, but like everything you're doing
derives from somewhere. Yeah,
like it comes from something, it comes from somewhere. So like, don't forget about that, and don't just take it as your own as if you're the only person who's ever done it. Like, acknowledge that you are not an all-knowing being.
But that also goes back to my quote: become an expert at your own shit. You can't become an expert just knowing it. You have to look back at what other people have done and come to your own assessment, or take on things that other people have said and like utilize that to your advantage. Yeah,
and also another part to that is that you can then become one of the giants that somebody else
I like that
stands on and builds off of, you know, because
that's cool.
That's kind of like your legacy, I guess.
Wow.
That got really ready? Deep, but that's my quote.
You ready to get into this list?
Yeah. Do you want me to go first? Or do you want to go first?
I'm going first.
Okay.
No, I'm kidding. No, I will go first. But yeah, so we started with a list of 7. Right? Yeah, so a list of 7 things that we want, just our resolutions for the year.
And what I usually do, I mean, in this case, this is a list, but usually what I do, and I will still do this year, is like I'll come up with a list, but it's more like mentally, and then I'll go and like I'll make a vision board, which is super like,
oh my god,
artsy and like annoying.
Like, you can never just do the thing. You always gotta add something to it.
I find like images online, or you know, make something that kind of visualizes the list. And then like I'll hang it on my wall or something like that. Well, I used to do that. I don't do that as much anymore, but
crafty.
The past few years I've been making vision boards, which has been really cool because it visualizes, and I'm a very visual person. So it helps me kind of remember. I don't know how much good it's actually done, but I mean, it's wasted a lot of paper. It's fun to make it.
I love that I'm always
I think this year I might do it digitally, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, continue.
Oh, yes. So my list, again, I always have to have a thing. Mine goes in order to most important. So I'm starting with 7 and going down to 1. All right, you ready? So here's one of mine. One of my resolutions, I started all of them with like a 1-word or 2-word phrase, and then I expanded on that. So for 7, I have photography, and I was like, I would like to do a few big photography projects and some creative and original photo manipulation projects, resulting in, ultimately, I want to get stronger Photoshop and camera skills.
Well,
for the year.
That's good.
Yeah.
I like that resolution. And you talk about it a lot, like photography and how you want to like keep doing that.
And it's like, I could be good at it, but actually one of my favorite things, I took a photography class, like one of my final classes before I graduated. She's a great photographer, this British woman. Her name is Wendy Babcox.
Okay.
Babcox? Wilcox. Ooh, I mix her up with our advisor, Laura, because her last name is Wilcox. I'm pretty sure it's Babcox. Wendy Babcox. She was my photography teacher, and she said to us, because it was a split class of intermediate and beginner students, she's like, this is the first year we've ever done that. But she's like, people always ask me, how do I get better at photography? She goes, take photos. And she's like, it's as simple as that. You can't get good at something if you're not constantly doing it. She's like, then you'll figure out what you like, what you don't like, things like that. And I've always cherished that she said that to me, because it's like, it's literally that simple. How do you get good at taking photos? Take the damn photos. That's exactly it.
And that is also with a lot of things too.
Yeah,
it's
practice
like
makes perfect.
If you're not doing it all the time, you will not know anything about it. So that's good. And then you develop your own style the more photos you take and stuff like that, because you're like, oh, I like this thingy.
And I have some like photo manipulation stuff that I kind of want to do. So like, you know, like people do like artsy shit where they put like a rabbit head on an alligator body or whatever the hell. I have some projects. I have some of those lined up that and it's cool because like I sketched them in my book, actually in my photography class when I was like around all these creative people. And now I'm excited to like execute them now that I have the time and I'm jobless. # hire me, please.
Yeah, but at least now you have a chunk of time that you can focus on the more creative stuff. You know,
I would like a chunk of money.
No, of course, of course, money is. I mean, you can you could try doing freelance.
I actually might. We'll see what happens.
So that's a thing.
Yes,
you could do graduation photos for people.
Yeah, I have, but I want to get better because it's a moment like captured, and I don't want to ruin that for people. Right.
I mean, you didn't ruin mine. Sarah took my graduation photos, by the way. Okay,
that's mine. Go ahead.
I just like last time, I don't have a particular order, but I just kind of wrote them in the like how I thought of them. But my first one is cancel fast fashion. So basically what that means for me is for the year of 2020, I don't want to buy any new clothing. I just want to keep all the clothing that I currently have. And yeah, I want to keep all the clothing I currently have. If something kind of goes awry, I want to mend it myself rather than just kind of throwing it away and buying something new. Also, if I absolutely need something, like, I don't know, some random event comes up that I need a pretty dress for or something.
You're not gonna wear a brown paper bag?
No. I'll try and get it like secondhand or borrow. Like, you know, I don't want to go to a store or like.
Can you explain real quick? So fast fashion, what is that?
Fast fashion. So I'm not exactly an expert on this myself. So if I say something wrong, forgive me. However, from what I understand it, like fast fashion is just clothing companies like H&M, Zara, Forever 21,
Bells
Nova.
For some of us who are poor, no. TJ Maxx.
Are they fast fashion?
Yeah, because they get, TJ Maxx gets stuff from boutiques. Bells is an outlet, so they also.
But that's more secondhand. Like fast fashion is like they.
Like direct.
They
produce.
Produce,
and distribute
clothing at a very like a hugely fast rate.
Okay.
Faster than any of like, you know, the traditional stores like J. Crew or like all the luxury brands are not like fast fashion. They take like years to design like one thing that they come out on, then the runway or whatever. If any of you are interested in learning more about it, Patriot Act on Netflix did a really good episode on it. So,
Hassan Minhaj.
Yes, I actually really like that show, but he explains it a little better over there. But basically my intent for this year is to, again, vote with my money in the things that I do, and I don't want to spend my money supporting companies like that. They do detrimental damage to the environment and our
other countries,
economy, other countries, a whole bunch of shit. And also just, we don't need more clothes. Like there's so...
We also don't need more iPhones.
At least in America, like our culture is very like, buy new shit, get rid of the old shit. Like we don't I don't know, the quantities of things that we're going through is just like awful.
Yeah, we follow like if it ain't broke, still get a new one.
Yeah, I don't know. So that's something that I'd like to do in this year. I don't want to buy any new clothing.
That's a
and
good
kind of
one.
make do with what I have. Yeah.
Well,
So
hopefully
that's my
that
first
ends
one.
up going well.
Thanks.
My next one is I have singing, and I wrote I want more vocal improvements, so riffs, vocal strength, and control. I already started like this year for 2019, or well, we're in 2020. For 2019, I wanted to start belting, which is like just singing with more power, and I finally figured out how to do it towards the end of 2019.
Yeah.
But it's like I also wrote I want to keep getting better. I want more power because I've always been quiet and apologetic with my voice. I think I said in a previous episode, I've never lived in a house. I've always lived in apartments. So, and I'm super mindful of everyone else. So it's like I never have gotten the chance to see what my real range is because I'm afraid of being loud and I don't want to disrupt people's lives. So I want to try for 2020. If I can't get a studio or something, I want to find like a place where I can actually work on my voice and have the cracks and whatever, but it's like I can never and it's like even if I am singing in my apartment, I feel the stress to be good because I'm like people can hear me.
Right.
So I want to try and not focus so much on how I sound and more of how I'm getting the sound and more technique and things like that. And I have my main goal is to get my first professional vocal job. So and I'm trying to get a vocal job at Busch Gardens. I might not end up getting one there just because they are pretty small, like the Tampa one. But SeaWorld in general is always hiring, but I kind of don't want to support SeaWorld. But my main goal is to get a professional vocal job. So we'll see what that ends up being.
Okay. All right. I support you. You are very good. I mean, Ceara's beautiful singing voice, in my opinion.
Real quick, just because I like to have this on record for myself. It doesn't matter how many people tell you sound good. If you don't feel it, you just don't feel it. And I guess that's why I came up with my quote, become an expert at your own shit. It's like, I'm never going to be able to do the shit that Beyonce does, at least not currently. She's been working for like 20 plus years with vocal coaches around the world doing things like that. Or even like Tori Kelly, who I love. Like she was born with that natural being able to do runs and stuff like that. I'm like, I don't know why I keep putting pressure on myself to do that when it's like, I know that I'm good at like jazz. I love singing jazz music or like opera shit. So I'm like, I genuinely don't believe that I can sing. I just like to do it. And I know that I'm not horrible, but I'm like, I hope that one day I get to make it to a place where I'm like, I think that sounds good. I like it.
Yeah, of course. And
I'm not there yet.
That's like a theme with everything. I mean, just like people who lack self-confidence in things. It's like people can tell you a billion fucking times that you're pretty or that you're funny or that you're interesting, whatever. Like you'll be like, oh, thank you. And it'll make you feel good for a second. But like if you don't truly feel it in you,
for a second,
like if it doesn't come from yourself to feel that way, it's like not going to happen.
Yeah, that's like that's only like my only weak point in my personality is I'm like, I don't think I'm a musician. Even though I love it so much and I put so much time into it, I don't think that I'm part of that world.
Right. My second one, again, this wasn't in any particular order, but I want to start reading again. So I used to be like a book junkie, like in not high school really, but when I was younger, I used to read like books on books, like at least 2 books a week. I remember I read like 1,000-page book in like a day one time. Like I was crazy. I mean, I would read like the fiction kind of novels and like teen romance.
That's still reading. People,
which is
that's the best kind of books.
No, it is still reading. I'm just saying at that point in my life, that's what I was reading. And I was super into it. And then I got into high school. And I don't know, like life happened, my priorities kind of changed, and I kind of stopped reading. And it makes me sad because it was something that really brought me a lot of joy and like, you know, the cliche thing of like, oh, it took me to a different world kind of thing. I don't know. And it also like allowed me to think about things. Like,
I was just about to say that.
Like reading books and reading things, like it exposes you to different
ideas,
stuff, you know, like. So I really enjoyed that aspect of reading. So I'd like to kind of get back into that. But specifically, I want to start reading books about design and like art. I always like go online, or I look at, there's this Instagram I follow that like posts about books in like my field, like in design and things. And I'm always like, oh fuck, like I really like I want to get that book, or I want to read that book or whatever, and I never do. So in this year, I want to challenge myself to actually, actually get those books and actually read them, because I want to read for pleasure, but also I want to learn about design. And my degrees in school were not specifically geared towards like design. It was always something I did in my free time and through my jobs and things. So I want to get a little more of like a basis or like an education in that, so that I can be better. And I mean, it's always fun to like look at design shit. So,
and I'm my family is actually a huge proponent of reading for your education. And I think my dad has always told me this. He's like, Abraham Lincoln became the president just from reading books. He didn't go to school. He's like, all of the information you've ever needed to know has been written down somewhere, and you don't need to go to school to find it out. We have that system just to have people integrate communication into their lifestyle so that they're not just a lonely smart person. But everything you ever needed to know, and we have the internet now, so it's like that's another thing. It's like I love reading, but I'm like, and we have all this information at our disposal, and we choose still to be on social media or whatever the heck. Not that I'm slamming anybody for doing that if that's what you like, but it's like, if you're looking to learn, why are you waiting for somebody in front of 60 people in the front of the room to teach it to you? You can learn it at any point in your life.
Yeah, and that goes off of my quote too. Again, like standing on the shoulders of giants. It's like these books exist for a reason. I mean, people wouldn't be writing them for fucking nothing. You know, they want to share their knowledge and they want to share their ideas and things. And I think that's like an invaluable thing. I mean, I would love to write a book.
I was just about to say, I see you writing a book.
I have no idea what the fuck it would be about, but
if you need a proofreader, you know where to find me.
Fun fact about me, when I was in middle school, I was super into writing, like majorly into writing. I was in a club for it, and I started writing a book in middle school. I mean, of course, it was a teen drama romance thing.
Yeah, I think we mentioned it in one of the previous episodes. I don't remember which one.
Yeah, but I started writing a book in middle school, and then I kind of lost that too. But yeah, I don't know. That's
a good one.
Another thing I'd like to
do
more this year. Reading. So cancel fast fashion and read.
Well, we're making strides. Number 5 for me is on everybody's freaking list, but we can never not. We can always try to be better. And so for my number 5, I have better health. I wrote that I'm at the age to start taking vitamins. I want to do more meditation and deep breathing. And I want to try weightlifting for 2020 because it has proven benefits for cardiovascular functions. And I have like a history of heart disease in my family. Or not just heart disease, but heart problems in general.
Weightlifting is fun.
Yeah. And it's great for snatching your waist and body, and women can replace fat and muscle, or fat with muscle, which is something I've always wanted to try, because I've always been like, even though I'm rotund, I'm kind of like a tight rotund. Like, even doctors, they're like, you're fat, but like, it's kind of sturdy. And so it's like, I think maybe I can lean into that more and get better at that. And I've never lifted weights before. And I hear that I've never done it.
I love weightlifting. Yeah. That was like I've always struggled being consistent with working out, but for quite a while in my life, I was weightlifting a lot. It's really fun.
Well, maybe you can help me, because I've never done it.
Yeah.
I also called upon Taylor. I was like, please help me.
Please.
And I wrote that my main goal for this one is to get hot for my sister's graduation in summer.
Ooh.
Because she's graduating, and I'm like, I'm ready to. And my sister's cute, and I'm like, I can't be frumpy standing next to my sister. She figured out how to put eyebrows on, and now it's over for me. So I got to come back hard.
Okay. I love that.
Yeah. So that's it for me. We're for 5.
My next one, I'm gonna say I would like to cook more. And I love cooking. Like, I love finding new recipes and new things and, like, testing it out, and then Like I'll usually do it like by the recipe the first time, and then after that like I'll tweak it and do whatever the fuck I want with it because I'm like, I kind of know the basis of what it is. But I'd like to cook more, but in the sense that I want to cook more like healthful foods. As you guys might remember, I'm a vegetarian right now, but my diet currently is not exactly like
beneficial.
Good. Like I don't think I'm getting the necessary kind of like
nutrients
and things that I need, and it's also something that I just really don't think about. Like I haven't spent the time to actively try and like change that for myself. And we've been eating out a lot, which is fine to eat out.
Don't put me on blast.
I've been eating.
No, we have. We have.
We've been eating out a lot, which I don't mind. Like that, I'm not saying I want to get rid of that, but it's like I don't know. I just haven't been thinking about what I'm actually putting in my body because in my mind I'm like, as long as it's not meat, I don't give a fuck, So I just kind of want to be a little more intentional with like what I'm eating and cook more at home because it's something I enjoy doing. So like, why not? And just going along in with that, I would like to continue my vegetarianism in the year of 2020. So yeah, that's all kind of all-encompassing food resolution, but the main goal is like to cook more and challenge myself to be intentional.
Yeah, and we're going to be living together in August of 2020, so
yeah,
I will support that. Ooh. I will support that any way that I can because I also like to cook.
And I'll cook for you. Like I literally like I love
cooking. Did you say I'll cook for you?
But I mean, like it's not like I'm gonna cook and then just be like, this mine.
No,
like,
no. I mean, I would also cook for you. I like cooking. Actually, a fun fact about me is I cook all the time. Not currently, but when I cook for other people, I cook a lot of food and I don't eat it. I don't know. I cannot eat my own cooking and I don't understand it. Like I make eggs for myself, things like that, small things. But I'm like, if I make like a meal,
if it's the intention like for somebody else.
I'm like, I don't want to eat it.
Maybe and that sounds suspicious. Maybe you just want to leave them to enjoy it. And, like,
I don't know. I don't know. It's so weird. I did that with my roommate once. Like I made, actually I ate it, but I made fajitas and then I tried to give it all to her. I'm like, eat it. She goes, this is really good. I'm like, take it. She's like, eat your food.
Eat your food.
Yeah, that's a good one. Health is always such a prevalent one, but it's like, it's so hard. We talked about this many times, but I'm like, if you aren't genuinely interested in making the change, it just won't happen.
It won't.
That's why I decided instead of being like, oh, I'm going to lose a bunch of weight this year. No, I will actually work on weightlifting that can help you manage your weight rather than trying to lose a bunch of weight and then what? Then you're skinny and you have no muscles or nutrients, like you said.
Yeah.
Great. So I want to be more health minded in terms of taking care of my body.
Yeah. And that's why I am the person who notoriously is like, the fitness resolution every year. And while in past years, like I've done some work on that, like it's always the one that like I don't actually do because my heart is not actually in it. Like working out, like going to the gym is not like I've had spurts in my life where I was actually interested in it, like I've mentioned, but it's never been something that I'm really passionate about, but I keep forcing myself to like try and do it because that's what you're supposed to do. Like if you want to be healthy, you have to go to the gym, you have to do this, right? So this year I made it a point not to put that on my resolutions list because like while yes I want to be healthy, I don't want to keep
lying to yourself.
It's like I know that I'm not passionate about that, so I'm not gonna try and like put it on a list of things that I'm gonna feel shitty about.
That you know it's not gonna happen.
Yeah, so that's why instead of doing like a fitness one, I want to focus on my health, but in like different ways that I actually feel passionate about, like cooking. That's something I enjoy doing.
Yeah, and you're a quality time person, so like going on a walk with your friend is something that you would be more interested in.
Right. Yeah, and if I found like a physical activity that I liked, yeah, of course I would keep doing it, but it's like I haven't yet. I want to try yoga.
I was like, I feel like you would enjoy doing yoga with me.
I've been wanting to try yoga.
I like yoga.
Years, and another thing that just hasn't, because I think there was like a class at like our school gym, and like I always wanted to go, but nobody ever wanted to go with me, and I didn't really want to go by myself. So I just
I'll go with you, but I'm like I'm somebody who actually really loves the gym, but it's because I know I like to be in spaces where I know people are working just as I am, but like we all do our different things. And like I blast music, and I'm normally very like angry when I'm at the gym, just because it gives me a level of energy that allows me to like push through like being tired.
Yeah.
So I would do a class with you. I just don't like when people talk to me. That's the only reason why I like going to the gym and doing my own thing.
I don't like when people talk to me.
Can lift your chest to the sky. I'm like, oh my God, just be quiet.
They're gonna say that.
That's why a lot of what I do is like I'll watch yoga routines on YouTube, and then I'll build my own routine of things that I like to do, and then I do it by myself.
I like those gym classes because it like forces me to do the thing because somebody is guiding me in doing it, you know? A period in my life where I was super into weightlifting was when I was a collegiate cheerleader my freshman year of college, and we used to do weight training every morning at like 5 a.m. and I would go. I mean, it was fucking hell because it was 5 a.m. and I'm not a morning person, but
it's literally my dream. I wish I had done that.
But like that was a part that I really enjoyed weightlifting because the experience and like you had the coach there with you and like training you and doing it. I think if I had a community like feel or like some kind of
something enticing you to do it more.
Right, yeah. I might be more inclined to go to the gym, but like just me going on my own and like, okay, I wrote out my fucking workout, let's do it. Like, yeah, it's fun, but it's not something that will last in the long run.
It's not for you.
It's just not for me.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, we'll work on it. My next one is I wrote write. And this one is going to be troublesome for me, and I already know it. But I wrote that I want to do at least 15, I want to write at least 15 minutes of stand-up comedy. I don't know if anybody knows, but like I'm very interested in comedy and pursuing that as a path. Definitely not as my full-time job because it's very hard and it's very difficult if you're not all in. But I do want to be like a comedic writer at some point in my life. So I know that you have to practice in order to get there. So I'm really hoping that I can do that. I actually had that as a resolution for 2019 that I wanted to have 15 minutes of stand-up written. I think composite, like of all the notes I have on my phone, I probably have like 3 to 5 minutes because it's really hard and it has to like flow and it's very difficult. But I've spent most of 2019 studying comedy, reading up on like reading articles about it. I watch all of the podcasts I watch now are comedic podcasts. So that's on there. I also wrote that I want to write more poems and good blog posts for the podcast, which will also strengthen my research skills. I also want to work on my screenwriting and comedic stories, like I said. So I want to figure out how to capture the funny and put it on paper, because I'm like, everybody tells me I'm funny, but I'm like, am I, or am I just a jerk?
No, you're funny because it's like the sarcastic humor, you know?
I don't know, but it's like,
in my opinion,
I just like to make people laugh. And it's like I still am feeling like comedy isn't a space for me because a lot of comedians have had like traumatic pasts, and I'm like, I have not. But I mean, that's just what has been the formula for like all the greats. Like Joe Rogan was molested when he was a child. Who else? I'm trying to think. A lot of people. Yamaneika Saunders is a very funny Black comedian. She had a traumatic past. There's a lot of people, like a lot of the people in comedy were molested at some point in their lives.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's a trend, like in the population. I mean, not everybody talks about it, but like the amount of people who have experienced something like that is like astronomical. Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
No, you're okay. Actually, on one of the comedic podcasts I was listening to The Fighter and the Kid with, normally it's Brian Callen and Brendan Schaub, but Brian Callen was out. So it was Brendan Schaub, who's one of my favorites, Andrew Santino, who I love, and Andrew Schultz. Those are like my faves. And they were saying, they're like, yo, dude, were you molested as a kid? He was like, I was molested. He's like, were you molested? He's like, of course I was molested. He's like, were you molested? And they were just going down a list. They're like, oh, we were all molested. And then there was this one girl, she's like, no, I was never molested. They're like, oh my God.
Oh my gosh.
How can you not have been molested? Which is not funny, but like I
have a dark sense of humor.
Yeah, me too. But so I'm like,
I laugh at the shittiest things.
Yeah.
Bill Burr is my favorite comedian.
Oh, he was also molested.
He's my favorite comedian.
And he just had a shitty childhood in general. He has to be like one of my favorites. I will put him at the top of my list.
He is my
I love him. He was just on Whitney Cummings' podcast, Good For You. She's very funny too. yeah, so ultimately I really want to write. I'm hoping that I will be able to do more like comedic stuff. I'm in the process of trying to like write. I also want to be a ghostwriter so bad because it's like I always want. It's like I know because I know people so well. I'm like I feel like this would be something that they should say or like things like that. Like I like to help people write their resume. I hopefully will get a job in the future that will have me write speeches and stuff like that.
Right.
So it's like I just want to be a ghostwriter.
I couldn't.
So I want to help like Tampa comedians. I want to be a ghostwriter for them if I can. I'm trying to do it. It's very hard because if you don't have a stand-up background,
you can maybe look into like somebody who's up and coming.
Like, most of them are because the greats aren't going to talk to me.
What did I tell you that one day? Go to like a poetry reading where like the people go and like do comedy randomly, like or open mic. I'm sorry, not poetry reading. Go to an open mic and then you scope it out and be like, oh, he's new. I kind of like his vibe, and then talk to him after the show or something.
They're going to suplex me to the ground and be like, what's wrong with you? My comedy's fine.
What do you mean? My comedy's great.
Yeah. But anyway, so writing was my number 4.
Okay.
What do you got?
Next for me, sorry, I was looking for the comedian, so I closed out my list. But my next one, kind of along the lines of, well, no, I'll save that one for a second.
I just realized, I'm so sorry. I just realized they wrote H2O on my Starbucks cup to put water in it.
It's like, okay, we were just the only
water.
Like I literally was the only person in that Starbucks. I don't know why.
I just noticed that. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're fine. I want to start, if I can, volunteering in some way. Because I did this I used to volunteer when I was younger. Like in high school. I mean, it was a requirement with the high school, like I'm sure everybody else had to do, but I also did it out of like, I wanted to do it. I would do like beach cleanups a lot, things like that. So it's something I'd like to get into again, just because it's something I enjoy doing. And, you know, I'm all in the environmental kick. So maybe continue doing beach cleanups. Something like that. We're kind of close to Clearwater Beach, so that might be a thing. I don't have like a fully formulated plan for this resolution, but I know that it's something I've been thinking about. Also, another idea I had is maybe working with like animal shelters, because I've been trying to adopt an animal for a little bit. And it's not really working out at this moment, but I'd still like to do something involving animals. So maybe
you would have to see
helping
them so
a shelter.
sad.
I would fall in love with all of them and want to bring all of them home. So I don't know. So yeah, that's another resolution that I have for this coming year.
That's a very good one that I don't think I've heard many people say. And not to throw myself in there, but if you ever find that you need someone or you would like someone to help you
I will.
with something, I will be 100% down.
You can come to the cleanups
100%. I would love to do. I've never thought about doing volunteering in my life, but I would love to do that.
It's good. I did one time, this was a few years ago. I did like a meal packing thing. We went and like made meals for, what was it? I've done a few of those. One of them was for like seniors in Florida, so like elderly people in Florida. I can't remember if they were homeless or if they were just living in like nursing homes or something, but the overarching theme was like food for seniors who were lacking food. And then another one I did was just sorting food at like a distribution like company or place.
Which is stuff I would still love to do.
I think it was Feeding South Florida. Well, I did that one because at an internship over one summer, they were like, we want you to come up with a plan for how the company can give back to the community.
Really?
And I basically planned this whole event for like my team on the company to like go and
why have you never told me this?
Pack. I don't know. It's not something I don't know. It's not something I talk about.
That's so cool.
It's never come up, I guess. But so that could be fun too. The meal packing and meal sorting stuff is I actually had fun. I mean, it becomes repetitive, but at the end of the day, like you feel good, you know?
Yeah. Wow, I would love to do that. And I'm sure that we, like Anelli is somebody who volunteers a lot. So I know that if we needed information, we could definitely go to her.
Oh yeah, I mean, she could come with us too. But so yeah, that's my next
cool.
one.
I never thought about that as like something that I'm somebody who loves doing like super repetitive tasks just because I'm there. I can do any job, but that, not to talk about, I just meant I'm fine doing any work. I'm really there just for the camaraderie of the people. And it's like I find that those repetitive jobs, people tend to like hate their job and stuff like that. So it's like it's always just inside of me to be like, I want to make it lively and make it fun, but luckily it's just something that I like to do. So of course I've never thought about that. I would be so good at volunteering.
Yeah.
My favorite thing to do when I worked at the financial aid office was to stuff letters. That was my favorite thing to do. And it wasn't the only task that I had. I was begging them for letters just because
Give me letters.
I love like menial tasks that are like nothing.
Yeah, me too. I love
office.
That. I like office work.
Yeah, organization things like that. I love that.
All that kind of. Yeah, I like that.
Wow.
So yeah.
I hope that goes out well for both of us because I want to do that. My third one is directly contrasting with your first one.
Okay.
I wrote that I want to do a wardrobe upgrade. I want to switch all my pants to black slacks and long socks with stuff that I like, just because I already made the shift a long time ago after I realized I could spend money on things, my own money on things that I like, I'm like, why don't I just buy shirts that tell people who I am before I even say a word? So I invested I have a lot of cartoon shirts. I have shirts that say like sassy, witty things on them. So I want to do that, but with socks. And it's like socks are just a fun part that nobody really pays attention to. And it's like you never notice it until somebody else does it. You're like, oh, that's some cool socks. How come I don't have cool socks?
Yeah.
Switched my brain to that. It's like my boss always wears cool socks and like he'll like show up and just like lift his pant leg and I'm like, I am jealous. I don't know. I just like stuff like that. Yeah. And I want to switch. So while I'm switching my wardrobe to the black slacks, long socks, I also want like more professional sweaters, more high-heeled boots, because that's my look that I got going on. And I still like leggings a lot, but I've found that because I wear such super, like right now I'm wearing very athletic leggings and they look like they're for being in the gym. Yeah. I want to switch that to or lean more towards just plain black leggings so I can dress them up or down however, because I'm like, sometimes I do want to wear leggings with like my boots that are high heeled, but I can't because they have a panel on the side that say gym. Yeah. And I'm like, I probably can't do that and wear that to a fancy event. Whereas if they're plain,
leggings
you can.
Leggings are a fucking, I love leggings.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't know why I never did that before. So I hope in 2020, I will have the monetary situation to be able to do that. But I just
and if you're I don't know if you're someone who, because some people feel weird about like thrifting, but if you're
no, I've thrifted my whole life. Okay. This sweater I'm wearing right now is thrifted, and I got it at Goodwill before I graduated high school. Okay, and I think I've had it now for like 6 years.
No, yeah, you could. I brought that up because you could probably find like some of that stuff.
Actually, my favorite pair of slacks, my mom got them for me. I think she got them at Goodwill, and I still have them.
Yeah. So then, see, you can upgrade your wardrobe and still be sustainable.
Wow. And then I'll just give all the clothes I have now to the same thrift store.
Or buy from wherever the fuck you want. I
agree with what you're saying. I shouldn't, not that I shouldn't, but I don't want to be out here giving money to people who aren't going to use it wisely. Not that the recycled clothing stores are, but
that's literally things that are, this world is so fucking fucked up because it's like this, just for 1 second, I'm just gonna
go ahead.
It's like okay, everybody tells you to be environmentally friendly, whatever, recycle the stuff that you don't want anymore, like recycle stuff, donate,
reduce, reuse, and recycle.
Yeah, all of that shit, that's all bullshit.
Yeah,
majority of the stuff that
gets fake.
Newsflash, majority of the stuff that gets donated is not actually ever used. They just throw it in the trash anyway. Majority of the stuff that gets recycled also majority of the time doesn't get used.
Yeah, but I just learned recycling doesn't exist. They just throw it away.
Because recycling, for it to be usable, has so many like criteria. And it has to be like sanitary. The container needs to be clean. There can't be any leftover like gunk in there. So if there's any left, like if it was for example, if it was a sauce jar, if there's any like leftover sauce in there on the side of the jar, like they cannot use that for recycling purposes and they throw it out. They don't even like try to clean it. At least from what I've heard, they don't go and then clean it themselves to then recycle it. They just throw it away. So that's something my family's super anal about. Like when we recycle, my parents are always like, you better wash off every speck of whatever in the jar. So as someone who is trying to be like more environmentally friendly, and sustainable in what I'm doing and where I'm spending my money, it's really disheartening to find out that it's like literally everything is corrupt and everything is like, I don't know. Everything is
nothing is
facade.
As it seems.
Like nothing is actually doing anything. And it makes you feel really discouraged because you're like, then why am I going to make any effort at all if it's not going to make a difference?
It happened to me yesterday. I had 4 plastic bottles, and I was like, I want to recycle them, but now I just learned that they're going to the trash, so I just put them in the trash, and I was like, now I feel dirty.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's a struggle that I personally go through all the time of like,
what's the point? But also like, I want to be.
Can't, like, yeah. I cannot on my good conscience, like, not at least try.
Exactly.
And so it just makes me feel really shitty when it's like, oh, none of the shit that you're doing actually matters. And I'm like, oh, great. But whatever. Sorry, that was my rant for the day. But it's something that really bothers me. And I'm sure you anyway.
Yeah. So all in all, I want to upgrade my wardrobe.
Okay.
If I am financially sound to do that in 2020.
You can definitely do that.
Hire me, please.
You could 110% do that.
Also, quick, sorry.
No,
you wore an outfit the other day. That was Thursday. Bad? No, that I loved. I told you, your fluffy sweater and your jeans and your loafers. I was like, that's exactly what I want.
It was my like casual work day outfit.
I want that.
Because I have to wear business casual, which is like my fucking nightmare.
I literally want to be business cash every day of my life.
No.
That's
why I liked working at Urban, because I could literally wear whatever the fuck I wanted. And like nobody gave a shit.
Yeah.
You know? And also another reason why I don't want to work in an office, because I just hate
that's not your
casual
scene.
And like business clothing and just business people. I don't, anyway.
Business bullshit.
I mean, I have to do it because it's just life. But anyway, that's why I want to try and work in a creative space, like a creative job rather than like a cubicle. Or work for myself eventually one day. That was such a weird side note. I apologize. My next resolution is I literally this is funny because I wrote it like this. So I said, stay single for the love of God.
For the love of God, please don't get in a relationship.
I literally wrote it exactly verbatim like that. I'm single. I'm not gonna go into the details of why I'm single or what happened or anything like that, but I am single, sadly, and I'm going through the emotions of that right now.
Not sadly, you're neutrally single. She's single neutrally. There you go. Go ahead.
Anyway, I'm going through the emotions of that right now, but I need to stay single in 2020. Like, it's not even like a want. Like, I need to stay single in 2020. I have been, as we've spoken about on other episodes, I'm a serial monogamist. I was thinking about it this morning because we were going to do this episode, and I was thinking, and I think I have been, if my numbers are correct, I have been consistently...
I'll crunch them for you.
I've been consistently in some form of relationship for the past 11 years.
That's no good.
Like, literally 11 years. It was 6th grade of middle school is when me and one of my exes got together. And literally since then till last week, I have been in some form of like
committed
situation. Which has left me with a lot of a lot of self-evaluation lacking in a lot of self-evaluation, and like I just really need to give myself the space to be liberated and just kind of do my own shit and not be beholden to anybody and thinking about, because I think I've spoken about this before as well, if I'm in a relationship, that person becomes really one of my top priorities. And I don't think that's a negative by any means, but because of that and the fact that I am still very lost in my own personality and like my life and what I want, things like that, it just isn't a good combo. And I need to give myself the time and space to put myself at the forefront and continue in this like self-discovery, because I have made a lot of strides and I have grown a lot even from last year. So I'm proud of myself for that, but I'm holding myself back by always being in a relationship, and I just need to stay single. So that is like one of my top resolutions for this year.
And there's nobody who's happier about it than cynical Ceara. The second you told me, I was like, yes.
And honestly, guys, my whole idea and my whole mentality about relationships and love has completely changed. And I'm not going to sit up here and get all depressed or anything like that, but I just...
Even though you're wearing head to toe black.
It's fine.
So am I, but that's my brand. That's not on brand for you.
I'm going through it, but I don't know that monogamy is even for me anymore. I don't know if I'm gonna,
say it louder for the people in the back.
I don't know, and that's not to say that I want to be with like 50 people. I just mean I don't know if, because I've been trying. I mean, I already told you the past 11 years I've been fucking trying, okay?
Mm-hmm. My whole family is like, what did Ceara do to her? Because that's been my whole life forever.
I've put in the work, I've put in the time, I've put in the emotion, I've put in the money,
love, the money, all of it.
Everything I have tried and tried and tried, and it never fucking works. And that's not to say that I haven't been happy in these relationships, that they haven't given me positive things. They've also given me a lot of fucking negative things. But
it's time.
I just don't know if that's my path anymore, and I need to kind of explore that. So I'm not trying to get into any committed situation.
No one can see me, but I'm doing like a church dance because I'm so happy.
I'm done with it. Maybe I'll flirt around, but I
flirt a little.
I refuse to be in a committed situation.
And if you think for a moment, if you even try, I'm not gonna run at you. I will run at you full speed and tackle you to the ground.
Stab me.
Listen, I won't allow it to happen.
Yeah.
It is my civic duty to ensure that you find yourself, because without a person, because I'll do that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I need supportive friends.
Am I supportive, or am I ready to see you be cynical?
Oh, I mean, I'm already there.
I'm so happy.
I'm already there, but yeah, I mean, it's helpful to have the supportive friends.
Yeah, all jokes aside, I genuinely am very happy for you, and I want you to be. Again, there's nobody who will push. There's a beetle on the table. Is this a ladybug? It's a ladybug.
That's good luck.
That's good luck for me.
Yeah.
Get on my 2020 list, boy. Get up here. Give me some. Yes.
Oh, he's literally going to the book.
Get on the book. Get on the book. Get on the book, ladybug. Okay, that was a derailing. But yeah, I'm very excited to see. Oh, like I was saying, there's nobody who pushes self-reflection more than me, because I'm at a place in my life, I have been for a while, where I'm ready for a relationship, but it just hasn't happened, and it's not hurting me, it's not helping me. Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's like I'm just me at the end of the day, and I really want that for every person on the planet. I want you to be wholeheartedly yourself and feel as though even if you receive the love of somebody else, it's only adding to the love that you have for yourself as well.
Right, which is not where I've been. Like I've mentioned, I've done self-reflection and things like that in the past, and I've made a lot of strides, but then I think I'm done, or I feel like I'm in a really good place, and then I'm like, okay. And then I open myself up to another relationship, and I always end up in the same place where the self-reflection that I have done, the self-reflection that I have done just stops being enough, and then I definitely am not able at this point to create the love on my own. Like, I just have the love already there, or like just have the happiness already there within me. I find myself in positions where I'm seeking that from my partner. And while I think your partner should give you love and happiness, like Ceara was saying, it shouldn't be like that's where you get all of it from. Like, exactly. You should have that within yourself already, and I'm not at that place. So I just always, at the end of every relationship, I'm just in a super unhealthy headspace, mental space, whatever. So that's kind of a goal for me is... You'll
get there.
Yeah.
It might not take 2020 alone, but who says we can't try?
Yeah, exactly. So that is another one of my resolutions. Stay single. For the love of fucking God.
Oh, I can't tell you how happy I am about that for you.
I'm sure my parents are happy too.
Yeah, no shade to your exes. I really just want everybody. I don't want people to be in relationships for the sake of it. I want you to just love yourself.
And I have a fear of being alone, which doesn't help me.
We all do.
So, that was something that always really like was a reason why I was searching so hard.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. And I'm also somebody who's like, oh, but if I don't try, then I'll never fucking know, you know? But I also am someone who thinks like if you don't try something, like you'll never really know what would have come of that.
Yeah.
So that's how I've talked myself into so many relationships, because I'm like, I feel something for this person. I don't know if this could be the thing that is for me, but how would I know if I don't do it? So then I do it, and I end up where I started, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of just need to not do that.
Yeah.
Just kind of be like, yeah, but if it's gonna happen, it'll just happen. I don't have to try for it. Or, you know, try so hard.
Yeah.
And another thing, I know I'm rambling about this, but another thing.
How dare you? I have a list as well.
Is my
No, I'm kidding.
I always get. Actually, no. I'm gonna save this for my next one because it's more related to that. So Go ahead.
I'm still talking to the ladybug. Sorry. My second one is, now I'm on 2. Last one will be 1. I wrote study communication, and that means to me, I wrote watching seminars, read more about communication, or read more communication books, as opposed to just saying for 2020, I want my goal to be reading in general. I want to make it specifically towards communication, just because it's something I love so much, and I can only gain from learning more about it.
Right.
And I wrote, my ultimate goal is I want to be a communication wizard. I want to know what, like, I'm someone who, I watch like those FBI videos of like how to tell if someone's lying to you based on just their facial situations alone. I also watch like body posture videos and like how to present, but not just as like a creepy way to know from other people. I also watch videos on how to be a better presenter for me, because we give a lot of presentations in advertising. It's a lot of business pitches, things like that. And I know I've learned just over this year, like, you show your palms to people so that they're trustworthy. You're trustworthy to them, and like they're more apt to listen to you rather than being closed off, which is always what you hear. But there's ways to do that and be inviting. But ultimately for 2020, I just want to be. I'm already charismatic now. I want to be so charismatic that like people can't say no to me. Like, I want to be so well informed on communicating and like being charming. I want it to be great.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that, I don't know, I just think that's a part of me that I've always really liked, and I want to just lean into it more and see where it can take me.
Yeah, that's great.
And that's it for that one.
We could go to a bookstore after this.
Why?
To look for books.
I read digital books, by the way.
Okay. All right. Well,
I don't like the physical books because then I got to put them places.
I like physical books. First of all, because they're already fucking printed. Okay. The tree's already dead. Sorry. You guys know I'm an environmental advocate. However, I like the feeling of having a physical book like with me, you know? So I'll usually buy them used or buy them whatever. Like, I do my part, you know, but it's like, it's already printed, so I don't really feel bad about buying books.
I don't travel, and I don't have a car, so I make up for that by reading digital books.
Especially if, I don't feel bad about it, especially if I'm buying it used, you know, because you're not getting it from the company itself, you know, you're not powering the supply and demand for that company, and then they'll continue like pumping out books. Because I think ebooks is a space that's really pumping. Audiobooks is also a space. I mean, you see Audible ads every 2 seconds, or we have been seeing Audible ads all over the place for the past few years.
Especially if you're a podcast on YouTube listener or watcher.
So, yeah, I don't really feel bad about buying physical books if they're, you know, used or whatever, because I just like the feeling of having them, and I want to have a library when I'm old. Like, I want to have a library in my house of all the books that like really have been impactful for me in my life. I don't know. I'm super annoying. But
what if your house burns down? What are you gonna do? It's gonna burn for longer because there's more paper and things to burn in your home.
Well, then maybe it'll stay in the library longer and it won't spread to the rest of my house as fast.
No, it'll catch more because it's paper.
But the fire will spend more time in the library because there's more shit to burn there. Oh. It won't like spread to the rest of my house.
Do you think the fire is like, and get rid of this one and Catcher in the Rye and the Bible and the dictionary?
I don't know. That's just a life goal of mine that I have, so that's something I kind of keep with me. And I have I have a lot of books already. I have a lot of poetry books because I enjoy poetry.
My friend, I'm so sorry.
Ceara, leave the ladybug alone.
I'm so sorry. I flipped it by accident. It was gonna crawl on my nail, but I moved my hand too quickly and it fell on its back and like panicked.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Me in 2020 on my back panicking.
What were we talking about? Oh, going to a bookstore. Okay, sorry. Is it my turn? Am I saying over? Okay. My next one is I want to get creative again. So for me, this just means, obviously, I am being creative. I mean, this podcast is a creative outlet for me. I have more time now to focus on the podcast. So I'm excited about that. But just as I used to be someone who read every 25 seconds, I was also somebody who would draw, I would paint, and I still do some crafts, but I would actively, without even thinking about it, like I would just be doing creative things all the time. Drawing was like my main thing. I would like find a picture online and then like freehand it, and that was my favorite thing to do, basically. Or like I would do designs on my nails and shit. I don't know. Just random stuff like that. And it used to just be a part of me. Like I didn't have to think about it. And I'm creative in different ways, but I'm currently creative in different ways than I used to be. Like I've discovered graphic design, so I haven't been doing stuff on paper as much, but I just want to try and get back to my roots, like my creative roots, and start implementing it in my day-to-day and like just integrating into my life even more. Like I want to, like I already mentioned, I want to spend more time on the podcast, like everything. I just want to kind of elevate, and
you got to have your own daylight savings moment like I had for Thanksgiving.
I just want to bring the true, like genuine creativity like back. And maybe that's just having to force myself to like draw every day, you know, and how people say like just draw every day and it'll become a habit.
They say about writing too.
So I might have to do that, and that's fine, but I would like to get back to my roots. So that's a very good one. That's another resolution.
But it's very broad, so it
is very broad.
Are you going to be able to?
Well, I guess to make it a little more specific, I would like to get creative specifically in the podcast, as well as I would just like to create more. I do have a design Instagram that I used to do. I don't really do it anymore, but those things, it was just like for fun. Like it was just stuff that I thought of and like wanted to do. So more of that, like some fun like side projects or random drawings or random whatever, and just share that and not really put a lot of I don't know, that didn't really do much for making it more specific, but I'd like to draw more and also be more creative in the podcast and
that's a good goal.
Yeah.
2020, here we come. My final,
here we are.
You're right. Here we are. 2020 has begun. My final one on my list of 7 resolutions is, I think it's on everybody's list, unless you're Jeff Bezos, the CEO
richest
of Amazon.
Man on the planet.
Yep. I wrote
what does he do with his money? Who the fuck knows?
Continue. I don't know, but he makes statistically.
Also, side note, people cannot even get mad at him because we don't know what he does with his money. It's like that's literally the point of capitalism, which is what America is built off of. It's like that's the fucking point. You make your own money and nobody can tell you shit because it's your money and you can do whatever you want with it. You know?
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, people are mad at him because he has literally more money than anyone on the planet.
Yeah, I was gonna say statistically, he makes like, they say like if you found like a $10 bill on the floor, and you pick it up, you just earn $10. Whereas if he stops and bends down to pick up $10, he added. Now, what did they say? He gains like $400,000 per like minute that it takes him to stop. I'm like, that's a lot of money.
So he has more money than anyone could ever want, and everybody loves to get mad at him for it because they feel like he should be using it in a way that they see fit and that they think is moral and whatever.
But also, like, let him live his life.
No, like, you cannot claim to be capitalist and still get mad at him. Like, sorry. And I'm not saying I am capitalist. I just, it's funny to me that people get mad at him when literally that's the point of fucking America, is like to make your money and not have to explain it.
Exactly.
You know? And just do whatever the fuck you want.
Well,
but, would I want him? Do I wish that he would put money into things? Of course. I mean,
don't comfort. You don't know what he is and isn't doing.
I don't, which is what I don't have all the details on what he's doing. I mean, it would be great if he would.
You just want him to be a Bill Gates.
It's just like, I don't think anybody really has a right to get mad at him. Sorry. This podcast
I don't know how we got here.
All about side notes.
But anyway, so my final one on my list is money, and I just wrote save it and make it. Ultimately, my main goal I have is I want to have my first copywriting job, like officially in 2020, and I want a new skill job, meaning I want to do something. I wrote move around / active job, like somebody who stocks shelves or something. It's just, I feel like I'm not an experienced person, like in the real world, even though it's like I grew up in the hood, but it's like my parents always made sure that I was taken care of. So, but the one thing is they always told me, they're like, you're not better than any job, so never think that. So if I get a janitorial job, that'd be great. I don't care. I just want for 2020, I want to do something new, like that I've never done before. So I've never worked at a register. I've never done food before. I would prefer if I didn't have to work at a register, because I want to do more like move around things. So right now I'm trying to
more of an active thing.
Yeah. So right now I'm applying to work at like Mission Barbecue, which is somewhere I really love. I'm looking at other like places that need stocking people.
Kind of like part-time
stocking,
things.
STOCK, not ALK. I told my mom, she's like, stalking, what?
I don't want to stalk.
I mean, I did want to be in the FBI, so.
You could still do that.
We'll see.
I wanted to do forensic psychology for a hot minute.
But yeah, that's the end of my list. What's your last thing?
Okay, my last thing kind of goes, it's like kind of related to speaking about being single in a way, but I would like to invest in my mental health. Literally in the sense of continuing my self-discovery, but as well as learning and finding it within myself to create my own happiness and create my own self-love, and not feel the need to find that in someone else. That's kind of my goal. Because like I mentioned, I've done a lot for myself. I just want to keep going and don't stop. And now that I have the opportunity to do that without focusing on anybody else, I think I could definitely do it. And yeah, so I'd really like to invest in my mental health. Also, I want to finally work through all the shit that's happened to me. On, I believe, the Thanksgiving episode, I talked about that I was finally able to kind of look back at my past and be thankful for it happening to me. And I still stand by what I said. However, I'm thankful for it, but it's still a really painful memory, and it's still something really that
it always holds
me back, I think. And it'll always be, I think, something, I wish that didn't happen or something, it'll always be painful in a sense, but I'd like to work through it and get to a place where it doesn't hold any control over me anymore. In that respect, I've made a lot of strides too. I used to be a lot worse, but I don't know. I'm just not done, And I don't know that I'll ever be done because I'm only 22. So, but that's a resolution that I have, to invest in my mental health. And that's it. That was my most important, my last one.
2020, be good to us all, please. Because
please be good. Please. help us in our
2019 was very good for me. I think I learned a lot. I did a lot. I didn't do as much as I wanted to, but again, I'm a crazy achiever and I feel like I should be doing more always. But I'm still very, very proud of what I did in 2019.
2019 was fine. I graduated from undergrad, so that's something to be very proud of for myself.
Wow, memories.
I started my graduate program, so that's something else that's like a lot of big ticket things happened in 2019. But as a whole, it was okay. I think I struggled a lot in 2019. A lot that I would do differently, but ultimately it was okay. And we're moving forward into the new decade, 2020.
I'm so excited. Wow, we're in
a
new decade. That's crazy. The koalas are dead. The ocean is constantly rising. The bees are dying.
The koalas are dead. The polar bears
I haven't seen a caterpillar in a minute. Why do we have an excess of love bugs in Florida? I don't know why.
They come around and they're not messing around.
Yeah.
They don't play.
They are okay to die. They're like, you cut off one head, 7 more grow. And I'm like, love bugs? Why are there so many of you?
They're just busy fucking. That's all they want.
Don't we all? We're all gonna be love bugs.
Man. I don't care.
Yeah. Wow. I'm so excited for 2020. If I don't accomplish these things that are on my list, I might actually be upset because this is like a new point of my life.
Well,
and I want to do some new stuff.
Thankfully, we have the podcast and we can check back on our list of resolutions. At the end of 2020.
I know. I'm gonna keep a clip of you being like, I have to stay single. And if you ever even make a blip in that, I'm just gonna play it out loud for you. And you'll be like, I have to stay single. I have to stay single.
Oh my God.
You've given me too much ammo.
But something I'd like to talk about really quickly. I don't know if you have any, but do you have any resolutions about the podcast that you can think of for this coming year?
I said it, just writing. I want to do the blog post. We're gonna get the website up and running.
That is a resolution for the podcast. Is we are launching our website this year, in January, not like this year, meaning like the middle of the year. But we're launching our website. We're gonna have a blog on there for you guys to kind of connect with us even more. And it'll just kind of like be a hub for everything that is the Double Distraction podcast. So I think that's a really good resolution for us to have. And if you guys have any resolutions.
Just another thing, like my photography thing that I started with, I also want us to get like more like photo shoot stuff done. I want to make it more like as us as possible. I don't want it to be too far from us. Like if we ever, if some more for some reason get like a bunch of listeners, I don't want to have to be like, well, we need this person to do this job. I want it to stay kind of close to home. I know a lot of CEOs say that and it never happens, but I would like it to stay like that.
It'll be us always. It'll be us.
Oh, that got deep.
Unless we get like
it'll be intern. Us always.
But that's literally like, who the fuck? When are we gonna get an intern?
But yeah, those are good goals. I hope everything happens for you in 2020 that you want.
I hope everything happens for you.
Thank you.
We're gonna be
roommates. And we're getting a cat. She doesn't. I'm getting a cat. I'm getting a cat. I told you, I'm just gonna throw it into the living room and be like, "That's your cat now. Take care of it."
When we move to Texas, I'm getting a dog.
It's too hot for. I was gonna say it's too hot for cats in Texas.
I'm getting a dog at some point.
That's not true at all.
Goal in life, maybe not for 2020, but goal in life on record, I want animals. I want a dog.
Whoa, why did plural animals?
Yes.
I want an
Australian Shepherd. We're not going to be roommates for life.
I was going to say, as long as we're living together, you get animal. One.
My cat.
Okay.
Right. But when I'm living on my own, I will get a dog. And I'm going to get an Australian Shepherd. Hopefully, I'll be able to find one for adoption. Because I want to adopt. Why are you looking at me like I didn't know? You guys can't see her. She's giving me like this look of disdain.
You're like, hopefully I can find an adoption. They're one of the cutest dogs I've ever seen. You think someone's gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna get rid of this expensive ass dog and put it in a pound? Absolutely not. But
there are shitty ass people in the world, you know.
All right.
Anyway, what was I saying?
You want a dog, mom.
Right, yeah.
You want to be a dog mom.
Anyway, I hope that your resolutions come out for you, and I hope that
comment
you guys
below
listening. I hope that all your resolutions come through.
Comment some if you want to. I want to know what you guys what your plans are for 2020.
Comment your resolutions. Let's have a discussion. Let's talk about it. And let's keep each other accountable, okay?
No,
let's keep
don't keep me.
Let's
no,
keep
one of
everybody
these.
accountable. You know, this is on tape forever.
If you see me walk around looking busted, you'll know I didn't upgrade my wardrobe.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
But yeah, share your guys' resolutions down in the comments, and I look forward to
Welcome to
reading
2020.
them. Welcome to 2020.
You son of a guns.
Welcome to season 2 of the Double Distraction
Season 2
podcast. It's so exciting, and we'll catch you in our next episode. Remember to give us a follow over on Instagram, double.distraction.pod, and hit the subscribe button on YouTube so you don't miss any of our episodes.
Thank you guys. Have fun in 2020.
Have fun in 2020. Bye.
Bye.